Okay. So, thank you for everyone who's watching. If I'm reading it right, we've got about 100 viewers.
Yep, we just hit 100 there. Now just waiting for everybody to sort themselves out still. We do apologise for the 7-minute up to now delay. So then everybody now finally readying up, which means that we're about to get underway.
As always, it takes a bit of time until we are able to start.
Yep, unfortunately Live for Speed users aren't exactly the cleverest of cookies sometimes, and readying up is one of the big problems that Live for Speed drivers seem to have. They just can't press the enter button quickly enough. So we sit here and wait for them.
Joseph Ellis will be following the field in the rescue car, Jack Wilkinson in the safety car, and Jonathan Palmer as head clerk of the course. And we're about to go on racing now.
Yep, don't forget we've got one pace lap in which everyone will form nicely, hopefully, after we had a bit of a hokey pokey, shall we say, at the test round. Jack Atkinson sitting on the pole position as it is.
So it will be 29 GT2 cars entering the first turn here in about 3 minutes. I think this will be the time they need to get this pace lap done.
Yep, low wind set and in cloudy weather today in Blackwood, UK, in the real world. So that's been put on the server today. So that means that we're going to have a bit of low wind. Might affect the drivers somewhat after most drivers end up practicing without any wind at all. And then when they get it, they get very intimidated by it. There's the pole sitter, Tommy Oscard. Behind him you can see the green and white core car. He'll form on the left hand side of him, coming through the final few corners.
A bit of tire warming there, and now coming to the long back straight, the point where I think if there is a real overtaking opportunity, it is here.
Yep, also I'd just like to welcome in finally, we have Nolan Scott in. Say hello, Nolan.
Howdy howdy, sorry for the delay. It's been a crazy morning thus far.
Yeah, don't sweat it, mate. Coming down a long back straight here at Blackwood. Everybody now forming up. So as they come now through the final corner, Tommy Oscard leads the field. Kenneth O'Keefe next to him. Lublin and Speedo behind as they come onto the pit straight now. Everyone forming up. Ooh, where's Lublin Racing going? In third place. They're alongside. Green flag waves. Look at Kenneth O'Keefe. He's way past Tommy Oscard before they've even started. Further back, back between Lublin Down the inside goes Sepam. Look at contact from Racing Radicals. Spinning goes Sepam. There's somebody else in the middle of the road, and that's Serbian Chrome Pistons. Todorovic, yep. He gets stuck in the middle of the track. Kenneth O'Keefe, though, he was miles past Tommy Oscar, our pole sitter, before the green flag went out. What was all that about?
I was watching that specifically since that was my driver, and yeah, he was. I mean, he even delayed the start after he was in front because he was in front, and Tommy just. I don't know. To me, it didn't look like he didn't go. I'd have to go back and look at the replay. I don't want to, you know, say anything I don't know what's true yet. But yeah, that doesn't seem to be the case.
Yeah, Tommy Oscar just being led past there by Kenneth O'Keefe, going down the main straight, and Tommy Oscar for 777 Racing takes the lead. Yep, there we go. No, but O'Keefe coming down the inside again, coming in the final corner. Can't make the move stick though. Further back, it's all sort of clean. I suppose there's somebody off on the final corner. That was lost a lot of time.
That was Beckham, or Beckham, I believe it's pronounced.
But now a 3-car battle for the lead. Oscar, O'Keefe, and Mason.
Yep, Mason of Sonic Realms Racing. Now behind Kenneth O'Keefe, closest battle on the track now, I think. That's for second place, which is brilliant. Lublin Racing behind them lost quite a lot of time over the past lap or two.
Ooh, Myers off in the grass on the final corner on the straight. He's going to lose multiple positions here, but he's back on track.
Yep, there he is, a very, very lovely skin as well, as Collier and Dahl go side by side, coming down the pit straight, not the pit straight, the back straight.
Kenneth O'Keefe takes the lead.
Yes.
Yeah, made an outside pass going into the chicane. I really didn't think that was going to work, but he pulled it off, just had enough clearance.
And Thilo
Mason falls to
Mason.
Yeah, exactly.
Seidel of 4 Strokes Racing Team.
Yep, they take third place, but make contact with Mason as well in the final corner, who is now almost side by side with Roselli, who's just got the fastest lap in an FXR. Oh, Mason off again. Look how wide he is coming out that. Where is he going? Going for a picnic is Mr. Mason.
And again.
Yet again on the. Ooh,
Roselli cutting across him. Oh, and Realms losing a lot of places now.
Yeah, he'll be lucky not to fall to 8th here, but he should be able to maintain this spot if he can get a good draft. Well, look here, he doesn't have
a draft, and everyone else does. Here comes Ekanon Lombardi behind him.
Ooh, nearly chopped his nose off there, but it was clean.
Ooh, and Ekanon spins and he takes it. Lombardi spun and he took Ekan with him.
Excite Racing, was it?
Where they're going to recover. Yep, Excite Racing and Dynamo Racing team.
It looks like they're going to end up in 9th and 11th here after that. Really not that bad of a hurt for them when you consider what just happened there, but we'll have to look at the damage and see what they've got.
And
look fairly clean.
Want, however, is coming to the pits, the 08 car.
Yep, Collier has also just taken Tafoski for 17th place. That's for Infinity Esports Racing, is it? And Infinity Esports Racing. And Kenneth O'Keefe still pulling out a lead on Tommy Oscar.
And Oscar goes wide. Seidel is now.
Oh, and Mason turned around.
Mason spun.
Yeah, he had some help. Couldn't see who it was, but he definitely got turned there, it looked like.
Yeah, we
Oh, he's
just
having
caught
a
it
really
then.
tough time getting going too.
Oh, yeah. He's going to fall.
Oh,
Oh, and he gets collected.
By
Was that Chadwick?
Yeah, it was Chadwick.
That was a very
Chadwick just lost.
Chadwick way off the line.
Yeah, he just lost it coming around the corner.
Hard?
I think Chadwick was too early on the throttle, and then he just spun around. That's what it looked like for me.
Yeah, same here, and Chadwick also blocked messages.
Yeah, that's not a penalty in NDR events, unlike Massive Endurance and IGDC.
I'm a noob.
Yeah, meanwhile, here comes Tafosky back on Collier. Collier very cautious in that corner, and the guest team of Sonic Realms, Speedo Racing, behind in that very nice pink version of the FZR. Challenging Collier now. Looks to the inside, does he? Nope. Tommy Oscott also lost second place to Sadel. We missed that, I'm afraid, did we?
I'm afraid so, and Roselli was basically right there with Oscar. Oscar's managed to pull away a bit, but yeah, I'm not sure what happened, but it's obvious something happened that cost him at least 2 or 3 seconds minimum. The car does look clean though. Yeah, no damage at all.
Yeah, meanwhile, Subenko going side by side with Collier. And with the length of the straight and the draft you can get from it, you can almost always pull alongside and pull past before the chicane.
That's also the most healthy decision, because side by side through the chicane is always a thrilling scene.
Yeah, but it nearly always doesn't go well. Oh, but look at Tafosky there. He ran very, very wide. Defensive line coming into the second corner. Ooh, very sideways, and he's on the grass. Nearly spins it. Everybody trying to avoid him. Just holds it on the road, does Tafosky. Is that Serbian Hell Drivers? Yes, it is, I think. Yeah, Serbian Hell Drivers.
Yes.
That's right.
See, I'm on form today.
Good job in preparation, mate.
Yeah, meanwhile here's Sim Racing Lithuania team. Minus Tommy Oscar with a very big draft on Collier. He's coming down the inside, coming in the chicane. Very good overtaking spot the chicane's proved to be over the past 10 minutes. And Sim Racing Lithuania team getting another place up to 17th now.
Up in front we've got a battle for the 4th position between Roselli and Schneiders. But,
you're about to see Roselli's
radicals and Infectity Racing.
Yeah, Roselli's definitely under the gun now. You can see that tire heat really getting into the tires, and he's going to be struggling here for the next few minutes. So he's going to have a lot of pressure on him.
Yep, Schneider's managing to get past on the straight, but he went in so early that he's now susceptible to getting back past from Roselli. Both managed to hold on the road through the chicane. We'll probably see it at least once today. Someone having a bit of a draft coming into the chicane and forgetting where to brake, and going flying into those bouncy barriers and buggy barriers at the end of the in the middle of the chicane. Side by side between Lublin and Excite Racing. Excite Racing taking 7th place off Lublin. Lublin only going backwards from the 3rd place, and I would try and pronounce the driver's name, but I'll just end up making a total fool out of myself, so I'm not going to bother.
Krzyzanowski, I think he is called.
What?
Krzyzanowski, I think. I'm not sure about it, but that's what I read.
I'll go with that.
Yeah, I'll go with that as well.
Schneiders is not right behind Ostgaard in the battle for 3rd position.
Yeah, Ostgaard seems to have gone backwards over the past 15 minutes. In comes a second driver for car 17. This will be a very, very early and unscheduled pit stop if this was to occur, but I couldn't think that it would.
Well, that's 7 Karat Racing. Maybe they need to swap drivers because of something different apart from the car's condition.
Yeah, meanwhile here comes in Faculty Racing on 777's Tommy Ostgaard, side by side coming down the back straight. Oh, and they're going to stay side by side, and Tommy Ostgaard going around the outside, holding on to that 3rd place, sorry. Sort of.
And Faculty Racing, also a team with a big history in LFS racing. They have been in Masters of Endurance, I remember, and in earlier days they also have had ESL champions, and Ostgaard goes wide.
Yep, side by side again, and then Faculty are going to go straight around the outside and take 3rd place off Tommy Ostgaard. Tommy Ostgaard only going backwards now. Todorovic and Collier also. Collier going down the inside, turn 1, nearly overcooked it. Todorovic still on his back, and he's going to switch back to the inside in turn 2. That's not going to work, unfortunately for him. And he's only going to get caught right back up by Henoff, and I will guess by the name that's from E-Team. It is.
And please remember, E-Team is the last year's champion. They are actually at the moment down in 23rd position.
Yep, Mason behind this battle as well, trying to fight his way back up after that terrible shame he had into the final corner. Here comes Todorovic down the inside. Back straight once again. Collier managing to stay ahead. This time anyway, he's going to look down the inside, does he? No. Ooh, sideways from Todorovic, very close on the exit. Getting in the slipstream. Can he get anywhere near in the first corner?
If he wants to have a chance at it, he should have it here, but it's going to be a ballsy one. Looks like he's going to try it. Oh, no, he shut the door. That was smart. I thought for sure. Oh, and look here.
Contact.
Collier pulls across on him. Oh, it's going to cost him both tons of time.
Yep. Collier just turned in there. Todorovic takes that place, and E-Team now right in the back of Collier as well.
Yeah, Mason's loving every bit of this.
Yeah, Mason's just sitting there, I think anyway, just waiting for these to take each other out. Who's going to get a nice slipstream here from E-Team? E-Team shut the door very firmly though, and this is going to turn into a 3-way draft. May even go 3 wide if they're not careful. Definitely 2 wide between Mason and E-Team. Mason 1 place up. Also, big battle in the around about the 10th place zone between Sepam, Rose, no, not Rose, Bachen, and Rose. And
also up in
trying to get
6th position.
on corn dodges, yeah. Yep, there's one there as well between Lublin, only going backwards again. Tommy Osgard still falling into the clutches of everyone else. I seriously don't know what's wrong.
He told me after the qualifying that he would show his pole position lap, his dad, on the flat screen TV. Maybe that wasn't good for his ego.
Meanwhile, Lombardi looking on the back of Ecken of Excite Racing now in the XRR.
Okay, I hear Tommy Osgard is complaining that his car feels different. Whatever that means.
It's a race setup, it's full of petrol.
Yeah, I don't see what he could possibly mean by that, because once again, no damage. Tires look pretty strong. You know, I don't see what he could be getting at there.
Side by side now, Something Awful and Cone Dodgers. Something Awful having to back out that move. Cone Dodgers, ooh, well across the green lump. And look at Subenko from behind, trying to assault. Something Awful now have the slipstream. They should make an attempt. Can we hit turn 1? Yes, they do. Side by side. Oh, they make contact! Oh, my life! And they fly over the road. Will Subenko take them with him? No, they won't. Oh, disaster for both of them. I think Cone Dodgers just turned straight in on Something Awful there.
A little bit of latency issues there, but it's amazing that both those guys saved those cars right there. Rose is going to try to get by again. Can't do it there. Like him with a huge drift coming out of that corner.
Looks like Something Awful with Backham at the wheel is going to, no, sorry, with Rose at the wheel is going to have another go at Cone Dodgers with Backham at the wheel.
But not enough yet. If you look at if you look at the split times,
Runas
this battle
diving behind. Sorry to interrupt. Runas just had a massive dive on Dahl. They are side by side again, but whew, good move by Runas.
What I wanted to bring up is that in this battle between Rose and Backham, and we have got yellow flags.
Yeah, we're looking at it now, and I don't know what it was. I've heard some intel from the Jack Atkinson that Infinity are running extremely low wing and are extremely quick on the straights, especially versus E-Team who are behind them and SR who are now flying ahead of them.
Well, they're one of the few teams I've seen that are actually running R2s all around. And for them to be running that low a downforce and their tires to look as... Whoa, he almost loses it there, but for their tires to look as good as they are with that little downforce is pretty impressive. Which then again, we are looking at a car running in, well, battling for 23rd position right now.
And that was
that was a big one. Rose now hit the buggy barrier, as I said someone would. Made contact with Runas. We saw that just about on the broadcast. I don't know what happened. I think Something Awful just turned into the back of Runas. Runas not wanting to turn. Who has... oh no, Lublin. Lublin's timed out from 6th place.
First time out of the evening at 22-minute mark.
One thing about Rose after that contact, the left front is literally a 32nd of an inch from breaking, and I don't see how that won't break over the rest of this stint. So they're probably going to have to repair that. They're almost forced to repair that at this point. This is going to hurt the performance of their car massively. This is really going to hurt them.
Also, that's somebody else. That's Roselli. Oh, look! Go Roselli! He's spinning all over the place. Myers as well. Sepam as well. This is a big one, but we can't see it. Someone's gone through the tyres, I can tell you that. Sepam was involved. Roselli was involved. Roselli was involved big style. We saw him going flying across the track there.
And Roselli's got a right rear broken shock, so he's coming in the pits to repair that, I'm sure.
The big winner of it is Bachem. He is now in 11th for Cone Dodgers.
Yep, Chadwick also about to challenge D'Souza back in 25th and 26th. As Jack Atkinson decides he would like to run away even.
I think he would like to dinner.
That's expected. Meanwhile, lead team on the back of Collier again. They're going to have a draft, a big draft as well.
Lublin reconnected to the server with another driver.
And these go side by side, coming in the chicane. Will Collier back off like he has done before? No, he won't. He overcooks it. That's way too quick for this corner. He somehow manages to slow it down, and he doesn't wreck it. How did Collier get to slow it down? Ooh, bit of a tap from Heat Team. And side by side again. But how did Collier manage to slow that down? And Abernethy now challenging Heat Team. Heat Team lost tons of time, seemingly. And Abernethy goes side by side for Fubar Racing. Fubar on the inside, Heat Team on the outside. Heat Team backing out very early there. Fubar taking the place. That is 22nd. Away, a timeout.
Well, keep playing a bit of radio. The battle we saw last is still underway. The cars are quite close together and now are coming nearer to Collier.
Yeah, we also very, very luckily.
Oh, and whoever's been 09.
Oh yes, that's a very strange place to spin. Someone must have helped him from there. Meanwhile, Conquest Racing on the back of Cone Dodgers Racing.
Ooh, and Schneider almost lost it in the same place we just saw. I'm not quite sure who that was around just a second ago, but Schneider's just barely recovers, and Oscar has pulled up a lot of time.
Hold up, what's happened to Kenneth O'Keefe? What happened to Ken?
Kenneth Kenneth is leading.
I don't think anything's happened to Ken. I've been checking the gaps. Him and second place have pulled 5 seconds on Schneid. Well, 7 seconds now, and he's held a 5-second gap to second position probably for the last 3 to 4 laps. That's as long as I've been looking at it though. So.
Well, my TV director has lost it. Oh, there we go. It's popped itself back into place. Excuse my totally unwarranted screaming there.
I will say this, Kenneth's pace does seem to be falling off just a pinch. I mean, the gap has probably fallen from 5.7 to 5.4 over the last 2 laps, which not a huge gap, but still it's showing a little bit. It might have something to do with tires. I'll look into that shortly. Can't be tires. Kenneth's tires almost look better than second positions, but it could be part of it.
Oh my, it's very sideways. As Jack Atkinson is our second sufferer in the admin section. Meanwhile, here comes Conquest Racing on Myers. And job done before the chicane actually comes. Ooh, Myers too quick, Myers sideways.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's nice.
That was basically a chain reaction of my fault, more or less. And again, Myers seems to have problems with the car because he's going wide for the last 5 or 6 turns.
Yeah, I'd say his front tires appear to be anywhere from 8 to 10 degrees hotter than his rears, and the right front is really starting to burn up now, so he's in a little bit of trouble. Looks like the car's just a little too tight for him.
Yep, you can see the car just understeering away on the through the corners, and then he's trying to get on the throttle to carry it to turn, and it's just going way sideways.
Yeah, I don't see how they can get away with that without making a huge sway bar adjustment or just cooling it off for the next 2 or 3 laps, because that right front is red.
Through goes Sepam in the XRR. The XRR's weight penalty being taken off it from this round.
The gap from first to second's closed to 5.1 now, so it does appear to be swaying in one direction just a little bit. We'll just have to see how the tires come around here at the second half of the stint.
But Kenneth now starting to overlap something of the close backfield. This could be also one factor in this time losing.
That's very true.
Yeah, I'm sure Ken will also be able to see how much of a lead he's got, and he's probably just backing off to save himself, because we've seen Kenneth and his rather aggressive driving style before, and we've seen him do really, really well, be very, very quick and competitive, and just lose his concentration for one little minute, and he makes a big mistake that ruins the race for him. So I think he'll be just calm himself down in that car.
That's one thing we've discussed with Kenneth quite a bit, is just, quite frankly, we're willing to lose time in comparison to some of the other drivers when it comes to getting around these slower cars. I mean, even if we lose, 2 seconds to second place, at this point in the race, I think that's more than acceptable, if not 3 or 4 seconds. Because I think we've got the pace to run pretty well. It's just a question of keeping the nose clean. This is something we've been discussing pretty much all week. Ooh, and fast lap by Kenneth O'Keefe at 11:71.
Yeah, here comes Runas on Myers. Myers still having more problems. And Runas going down the inside into chicane. Myers decided he wanted to have a little fight back there, but nothing came of it, and he just went through the massive gap left in the tyres by somebody ahead of him. Let's take a look on board with Kenneth O'Keefe, race leader.
Just a quick update, Abernathy spun in the same corner he spun in just 2 or 3 laps ago, so this is going to hurt him again. Just now getting back on track, so he's probably going to lose every bit of 20 seconds here.
O'Keefe now has to pass Chadwick. Now if Chadwick can keep up with Kenneth for at least the next few turns, De Souza might be in reach for him.
Yeah, unfortunately I don't think that's going to happen. Kenneth may even catch De Souza here with a little bit of a draft, but it's going to be a long shot. It does appear to have a lot more straight line speed, though. We have to wonder what kind of downforce they're running. He's going to get him. Kenneth has managed to stretch that gap to second back to 5.6, even while getting around some of this traffic.
Myers now, he caught up on Runas there and just went wide a bit. Lost all that time, but he seems to be recovering a touch actually. As he gets a massive slide on, and this is any time that he could have had. Yeah, battle for position between Todovich and Dahl. Dahl on the FXR. Not about showing as that was a fastest lap from somebody. Could anybody tell me who that was, please? Possibly?
Fastest lap by Seidel in second position in the 22 car.
And the gap's closed to 4.8 now.
And we have got a drive-through penalty for Kenneth O'Keefe for jump starting this race. This was the scene Nolan and we other two here in the booth discussed at the beginning of the race.
Yeah, I definitely don't agree with that because Kenneth obviously let him back by on the straightaway, but, you know, whatever. It is what it is.
Yep, so Kenneth O'Keefe will have 10 minutes to serve that penalty. Which means that he'll probably lose how many? 2, 3 positions? Thinking about? No, more. 4, 5?
Well, I mean, I don't think really it's a question of how many positions he's going to lose right now in such a long race. It's just a question of the time he's going to lose. And you know, once again, I don't know. It's you got to weigh, you know, risk versus reward when you punish people with penalties. And I don't know. We'll just have to see how bad it hurts him. This is a fairly short pit lane, so I don't think it's going to kill him. Once again, though, to gain, you know, a half a second on somebody is, you know, pretty harsh.
But we have still 2 hours 20 minutes left in the race, and so let's see how it's turning out. Osgard is now coming back into a position where he might set Schneider's in the end faculty car under pressure.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible if he finds his pace again. He has caught up rather considerably. Sousa, he's off somewhere. Where is he? There he is. Oh, look at him, he's backwards. How do you spin there? Very strange place to spin.
It is possible if you go onto the grass and then when you're additionally too early on the throttle. And there is a substitutive driver for something awful.
Catholic, he's coming in to make his drive-through now. I just went and had a quick chat with him, and he was discussing the minimum speed for a car under pace lap. Does anybody here by chance know what the minimum speed for a car is under pace lap? Apparently not, but you know, that's something we're definitely going to have to look into and you know, see what's written in the rules about that.
Yeah, well, I was just listening to Deco on the private bind. Oh, Collier, very wide, he's going to spin it. There he goes. There he goes, he spins it. Bad to worse for Infinity Esports. But anyway, as I was saying, I was just talking to I was just listening to Deco on the rejoins, right? Tommy Oscard's way. I was listening to Jonathan Palmer on the private bind, and he says that it is pit lane speed limit for the front row, and everyone else matches speed with them after the safety car comes in. Yes, that's right. And that's like the pit lane speed limit ish doesn't apply for everyone else. It's just they've got to keep themselves to a decent gap with the cars around them. As somebody else times out, 28. That is who? Zubenko took the wrong route.
Oh, Rose is in the pit lane.
Abernethy's off. Coming through that final chicane, and somebody managed to come out of bounds. Eduardo de Souza is somewhere backwards again in the same corner as he did last time.
Yeah, and driver change now for the named Something Awful team, although it is a joint venture between Something Awful and Darkside Racing.
Yep, we just had word from Jack Atkinson that the reason that Zubenko ended up miles out of the world is that they hit car 9 coming into the chicane and did what I said everyone would do and hit one of the buggy barriers and died.
Oh, and that means this DNF for double O for SPDO Racing, the guest starting team.
It's such a shame.
Yep.
Just unlucky.
Yeah, meanwhile,
Now that-
for 13th place between Todorovic and, oh god, Stevie. Yes, I'm settling with Stevie for TDRT. TDRT, not TDRT, SRLT. Maya's also battling for position with them as well. I've just realised. And now they're going to go side by side.
Well, Stibby has got a bit of an advantage as he could at least feel the draft, the slipstream of Myers. Oh! Contact between Todorovic and Stibby.
That's going to knock some right front camber out of that tire too. Just a touch of damage.
And new best lap time for Seidel, who's building up his lead, or at least he makes it bigger, I want to say.
Yeah, I mean, Kenneth O'Keefe, after having to drive that, or having to serve that drive-through, his tires are just extremely cold now, so this has pretty much ruined any chance he's got to have a pretty good second half of the stint. But I did go and review the replay, and I must admit, Tommy wasn't under the pit lane speed, so it was a pretty reasonable call by the admin. I think Kenneth had the opportunity to serve that penalty early enough. He will be able to get these tires back up to temp. It seems to be going that way, but it's going to be really close to see how much it's hurt him. We'll just have to update you on that here in the next 5 to 10 minutes.
Yep, 46 minutes gone in this 3-hour race. Now 2 hours and 14 minutes to go. And Seidel of Four-Stroke Racing Team leads, with Kenneth O'Keefe after serving a drive-through penalty for core racing in second place. And Faculty Racing are third, and Tommy Oscard for 777 Racing is in fourth place after struggling for pace up to now.
Dynamo Racing with Lombardi is on fifth, followed directly by the 06 car. I don't know what team it is. Sorry. And Excite Racing on 7th position, last year's third placed car in the GTAL overall ranking. Cone Dodgers on 8th, with Beckham driving at the moment for them. Seppem for the Estonian endurance races on 9th. And Conquest Racing with Mitsiolek on 10th.
Yep, while you were saying that, we just saw Myers get a massive wiggle on through turn 4, and Todorovic right up his backside, and then Todorovic getting a massive wiggle on and losing all the time he's gained in the past 2 or 3 laps. And that's somebody else off.
That was E-Team.
E-Team, there they are. They put the power on a bit too early on going out of turn 6 there.
So now Chadwick is closer to him. He's not in a good position to set the E-Team driver under any pressure, but he's closer to him.
Yep, Roselli now behind Chadwick and about a chance to overtake him, but Roselli has pitted before. Chadwick still yet to pit. Rather early for a lot of teams to have pitted up to now. I mean, Roselli already in the pits. I mean, you know, it's only been 50-minute stint, and that's not long enough.
Now, if we'll remember, Roselli did break a right rear shock, so that did play into it quite a bit.
Yep, you're right, I forgot about that. Meanwhile, Todovic has overtaken Myers.
Oh, and Schneider's did a mistake. Osgard is directly behind him now. Schneider's third position gone too wide, entering the long back straight, and now Osgard is right behind him. He's been approaching him. Osgard has approached Schneider's over the past few laps.
Oh, Stieble's off.
Stieble's around. Yep. We've seen that 3 or 4 times now. It's such a unique place to spin.
Yep, and there's Lombardi backwards as well. He's going to rejoin right in the middle of... Oh my... Don't rejoin there, Lombardi. Very weird rejoining. He just came right into the path of Sepam. And I think that's Raptor Racing behind him as well. He just drove straight into the side of them. Almost. Both Sepam and Raptor Racing did very, very well to manage to miss him. Vont also seemingly been off. There's a start. Sonic Realms? Come on, Chris. Sim Racing Society, yep. Just been off into turn 3.
Osgard now side by side with Schneider's.
Yes, he is coming down the back straight. Tommy Osgard on the inside, and he's done it before the chicane as well. Schneider's having to back off. Very sideways from Tommy through the corner, but he takes the third position back.
Osgard was one of the fastest cars on the last lap.
Lombardi off again, this time in the chicane. Is that front left puncture I see?
Yes, it is. His front left is, well, airless.
Yep, and he comes into the pit lane, braking nice and early, hopefully, so he doesn't end up totally outdoing the speed limit with that flat tyre and The car decided it didn't want to stop. Lombardi's day gone from bad to worse with that one.
And we've got one went for Raptor Gaming spun.
Yep, there is a lot of mistakes going on at the moment. Is it the cold tyre phase from everyone?
I think that the tires are pretty much worn at the moment, and as we've earlier mentioned, this is the series to prepare the drivers for endurance races. So some of them don't have the experience to cope with that thin tires.
Oh, and D'Souza going straight on through the chicane. He's going to hit that buggy barrier. Yes, he does. He goes flying in the air. Will it land on its wheels? No, it won't. He's on his roof. He's out. That'll be the safety car. Will it be? Yes.
Safety car.
So the safety car will be out for the first time this season.
Oh.
You do know. There we go. Safety car is out. So Jack Atkinson stretching his legs for the first time, right in the pit stop window as well. Brilliant time to have. And
side light's got a puncture. Side light is a puncture. The leader has a puncture.
Yes, I've got
front left.
Yeah. And now you can see all the drivers sprinting in the server to take over. Oh, and here comes the leader. He's off the road. He's through the tyres on the safety car lap. Here's Kenneth O'Keefe behind. He will take the lead back off Sepam. Oh, Sepam he's not going in. Sardal, sorry, not Sepam. Sardal with a front left puncture on the safety car lap has not gone into the pits. That's suicide.
Yes.
Oh, and he's going to go plowing off the road, he does! He's going to get stuck in this gravel as well, because he didn't know he's not. I thought he was going to do a Lewis Hamilton and get stuck in the smallest gravel trap in the world there, but...
That's tough luck, but it's, however, great for Kenneth O'Keefe. Oh, and he spun. Oh! He took 25 Ostgard with him. The Sonic Realms car just changed drivers. Now Michael Booth is in the car and Mason is out.
And car 22, that's four-stroke racing team, they've just driven straight past everybody after driving off the track. You can't do that. The car who was leading with the front left puncture is now, he's driven past everyone, and that must be a penalty. And I've just heard that he's given it back, so he won't be penalised, but a bit of inexperience from four-stroke racing team. Everyone's in now. Core Racing's in.
Yeah, I know as soon as I saw the caution come out, I ran over to our Ventrilo to try to get Ken to come in. I just got there a little too late. And the whole pit lane not closing incident is really going to throw a bunch of people out of position here. A really unique rule.
Yep. Well, yeah. The rules state that the pit lane doesn't close when the safety car's out, so drivers should know that. I've timed out. Yay!
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, it's a big thing with NDR. We never shut the pit lane, or we only shut the exit of the pit lane when the safety car's driving past, so as everyone doesn't end up in a massive kerfuffle at the end of the pit lane. But yeah, people should know that the pit lane stays open.
Faculty just kind of overtook the safety car.
It does in some It does in some respects make sense to do that because once again you won't fill up the pit lane like we discussed. But you know, I don't know, it's kind of a cool rule, and it's just kind of unique in the sense that if you do have a big lead and a caution comes out, you can come into the pits, but just so happens the pit lane, second place can come in, grab the pit stop, and beat you out of the pits. There ain't no way around that. So it's an iffy rule, but I kind of like it. It does help keep things safe, and in this environment, that's what we need.
So now, just to show what's happening, the pit lane exit is closed, but the pit lane itself is not closed. It's just so that all the cars can pass. And there we go. Pit lane now reopened once again. So I'm looking through the field now. We have Nolan Racing Team in the lead.
It's not Nolan.
Second, Runas of... It's not Nolan, you're right. It's the 06 team I don't know the name of.
Ah, okay,
Zion
it's Zion Racing.
So Zion lead, Cone Dodgers are second. And is this Runas? Oh yeah, lap down. Blonde moment, sorry.
Runas in third position.
Yep, but not third in the queue because we've got a back marker in there as well. Into the pit scores Backham.
I've just been informed by Bean Keo that this pit strategy system here that GTAL has in place is actually very similar to what IGTC has. It's almost identical. But as you can see, the two front runners are now sitting 6th and 7th, and that's there's nothing you can do about that. That's just the way the ball drops sometimes.
Yep. So looking for the field now, only 3 or 4 cars not pitted yet. 5 even. 5 cars not pitted, but that may be due to timeouts. I'm not 100% sure.
Certain Crown Pistons now also changed drivers as well as Cone Dodgers. As well as
I think both first and second have stayed out, which their tires do look pretty decent. It's obvious that they're having a hard time keeping the heat into them. First place driver right now with absolutely fresh drivers is Egloff, I believe it's pronounced.
Yep, that's about right. A lot of back markers ahead of the overall field as well, looking at it.
Clockwork Motorsports will also do a driver change now. And we get the signal restart next time by.
Yep, so Jack Atkinson turns his lights out, hopefully.
I think he will do it on the back straight because the car he steers is not that powerful.
I do love to see that with Z25, every single person almost in the on the track having the front and rear lights on. It as a commentator, it actually confuses me, and you end up thinking that people's brakes are binding, or they're pressing the brake pedal while they're going down the straights, and it's but no, they're not. They've just got the stupid lights on. So this Lion team that we're looking at now, current leaders, still yet to pit though. And they timeout.
So restart will be more or less radio.
I'll get there. Oh, come on!
You should get here in time.
Pace cars away. We should be back on air.
Yep, we're in. And it's... There we go, there's Zion team.
Green flag, green flag.
A big gap between... the first four were miles ahead and everyone else was way behind. Look at the lead.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
Louis Santos just got taken out by the, not sure what car that was. Oh, and now he's spun and he's stuck in the gravel. This looks like it may be another safety car. Kurakis, I believe it's pronounced, the 22 4-stroke racing.
Yep.
Just basically took Rui out and spun himself out, and now he's stuck in the gravel. This, yeah, it looks like it must be a safety car unless he can get out.
Yeah, but that it's a shame for 4-stroke racing team who are leading. But it's also a big shame for car racing who are also leading. And he's getting out supposedly. We'll take a look at him. Where is he?
He's at the pit lane exit. Changed his steering.
Away he goes. Obviously,
what a shame.
While he had the opportunity. But yeah, will there be a report?
There's no question that I will be heading to my Ventrilo right now to file a protest on that. So, but we'll go through, I can assure you. Oh, and Chapman spins it in the final corner. He's around in front of everybody.
Oh, and he takes another car with him.
Yeah, meanwhile there's a battle for the lead with who haven't pitted yet, with Zion team being under heavy attack from Runas of Deadline Racing. Yep. And that's E-team off as well. And obviously because something's happened to them, I can't find them in the list. That's not them. Oh, and Runas is... Oh no! Runas has chatted! Runas chats in the middle of the server.
That will end up in a drive-through penalty.
Yep, they'll get a drive-through penalty for that. Just a chat bind on his F4 key. And yes, it is a good race, but you don't need to tell us all.
So we're
side by side between. Oh, go on, Thilo.
So we are again in a very dangerous situation, as we have more or less the whole field on 1/4 of the track. However, Excite just did it to get on 3rd position, and we have got a drive-through penalty for certain Chrome Pistons for overtaking on the full course yellow.
Yep, we're on board with him now, and he's been penalised for that, for the drive-through penalty.
Serbian Chrome Pistons. Gotta love it.
Yep, they are the kings of timeout, the queens of DTs.
That's gotta be the most epic team name I think I've ever heard.
I think I would agree, if I'm honest. I mean, what
I mean, I'm not being sarcastic. It really is pretty
somebody
good.
off, was there? No, there wasn't. I was just shouting for nothing again. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I think I see what you saw.
If they didn't...
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, if they didn't time out as much, I think they would do a lot better as well. Meanwhile, here comes your team, Nolan, co-racing. Going driving straight past Brestovac of Serbian Chrome Pistons, who I'm sure will come in to serve that drive-through within the next few laps, as he's got the 10-minute limit.
Yeah, luckily, and I don't know how this happened, but Core got away with that without any damage. The left rear looks like it's, you know, a dump truck slammed into it, but yeah, aside from that, I mean, there's no actual physical damage to the car, so we're in pretty decent shape.
Yep, there he comes now, and he's taken, like, Rui Santos has taken 3 or 4 positions in the past lap. He's absolutely flying. Ruinas comes out after serving his drive-through penalty. He's still yet to pit as well, is Deadline Racing. Zion's still leading, still yet to pit as well.
Just for those who are interested in Core, they already made half a second in the first sector to the next car in front of them.
McCowan taking over from Tommy Osgard now up to 3rd.
Okay, for those who have missed some parts of the race, we have got Zion Racing in the lead, in front of Excite Racing, and then 777 Racing on the top 3 positions. After much and many more controversial stuff, we've got a bit more than 1 hour and 45 minutes to go. Well, and this race just caused another victim. the microphone of our guest co-commentator just broke. So Nolan is not able to speak.
Nolan obviously shouting quite a bit at Rui Santos, asking for answers after the incident between him and, was it? I can't remember, I'm afraid.
We should now go on to the battle for second position. It's they are actually drafting on the back straights, side by side drag race to the chicane, and McGowan, I think, just passed the Excite car.
Yeah, that would be McGowan. He's Excite's managed to pull straight back past him as well. Well done to them.
That was a great move, a very risky move, but well, actually, this move paid out.
Egloff defending like mad, coming into turn 1. McCowan not being able to get close. Ooh, big wiggle on. Was that lag? I don't know. McCowan lost quite a bit of time.
Behind those two guys, that's Kurt, but he's already a back marker. I think 1 lap down. And again on the back straight, 777 Racing now trying to pass Excite Racing.
Yep, after the pit stop of Zion, this is now for the lead. So McCowan is now taking the lead from Excite Racing. So 777 Racing now lead the 3 hours of Blackwood.
After 1 hour 15 has passed.
And that is... Who is that? Is that... It's not him.
That was E-Team. Spinning.
Oh, it was him. Okay.
Well, when we're talking about E-Team, looking at those who have competed in last season, Excite Racing seems to be in the best condition overall.
But look at this, Caracas for 4-stroke racing team just taking over the car, and now he's on an absolute roll, trying to gain back the places he lost after contact with Rui Santos.
Yeah, he needs to get this position of Zion Racing. Santos meanwhile flew on to the 5th position. For those, we have had an accident on the restart involving the cars who were on the fighting for the lead in the before the.
Oh, Caracas nearly rolling it there! What a save from Caracas! He tried to go down the inside of Zion there, and he put his wheel on the inside of the curb. That put him on 2 wheels, and an amazing save from Caracas, making it not only just keeping it on 2 wheels, but keeping it out of the wall, and not losing any places, not losing too much time at all.
To quote my dear friend Michael Passigan, I nearly got a heart attack. But more or less because you shouted so.
I was going to say from the incident itself, or from me shouting my head off.
So
So McCallum's still leading, Egloff. Oop, go on, Thilo.
no, we have had a driver change for the safety car now. Timo Hünjen overtakes driving the safety car. There was a car gone wide in the final hairpin. Car number 17. So we've had a crash. Acosta has spun also in this very strange position in the part where the developers have changed the track a bit to make it more interesting for the slower cars.
Yep, Limit and Roselli battling for 7th place. Limit very, very slow through turn 1, side by side with Roselli, and this isn't Brestovac behind. That's a back marker.
That's Bausdorf.
Oh, and Lehman, very wide.
Yeah, and there it goes, the 7th place now in the hands of Roselli. One of the teams which didn't swap drivers. Roselli has been doing 64 laps already in his... he nearly rolled it. He has been doing 64 laps in this FXR. And we have got a battle for the 3rd position between Anfacuty and Conquest Racing. They've already been side by side, but Conquest couldn't stick this move. There must have been a mistake in the past few laps by the Anfacuty car, because it was about 2 seconds slower than the rest of the field.
Yeah, meanwhile, battle for 21st place is just died right in front of me as soon as I tried to say it. Between Fubar Racing and Something Awful.
Yeah, Something Awful with the Dark Side Racing driver.
Side by side for second place. Sorry to interrupt you, Thilo, but Leicester's just overtaken Egloff for second place. Thanks to Phil Diaz for showing me that.
Yes, there must have been also a mistake by the Excite car, because Leicester wasn't in a position where he could start an overtaking maneuver.
Yep, Karekas either just made a move or is losing time to Zion Racing Team as well. Zion, and they're going to look down the first corner. Very, very strange place to go if you'd had just a tiny little bit of overlap anyway. Ooh, Karekas very wide. Down the inside comes Zion Racing Team, side by side. Zion take the place. Ooh, but Karekas is going to cut back. And takes the place back.
Santos is now 7/10 behind the 4th place, and he's still being faster than the guys in front of him.
Yeah, meanwhile here comes Zion Team down the inside. Fubar Racing Team ahead of them, one or several laps down, but Zion just tried to use as much room as possible, and Chadwick is off. Yes, he is, leaving turn 2.
And Santos is now right at the back of the Conquest racing car, now getting in the slipstream. Side by side they are.
Yep, Santos on the inside. He's going to take him before the chicane, but has he done it a bit too early? Can Conquest Racing get back into the slipstream? No, they can't. Not really. Andrew Santos' charge continues.
And now he's right at the tail of Egloff.
Oh, a bit of a touch there from Rui Santos on the back of Egloff. Drive-through penalty for 4-stroke racing team, I'm hearing as well. And that was for contact with this car we're watching now of Core Racing.
Actually, I like it to see those incidents being cleared during the race, because then it doesn't need so long after the race to sort out the results. So Santos is not far away of Egloff, but I think he needs to wait for the back straight to plan the next overtaking maneuver.
Well, it's whether he can get close enough through this corner here to get the slipstream on. Ooh, and Egloff runs wide. This will give Santos the opportunity to get in the slipstream. There he goes. He comes on the outside now. Side by side.
And that
That's the
was
move.
really
Nolan and
easy.
Santos and Core Racing moved to third.
Excite's
Ooh,
coming
Egloff's going
again.
to try it again down the inside! And he thinks better of it, and so that was fairly wise for Egloff to pull out of that one. That probably would have ended up in a big like hunk of metal, a bit green, a bit white, and a bit Excite Racing coloured in the corner there. Ooh, and Egloff
I
losing.
predict that.
All
I
the
just
time,
predict
Conquest
that.
Racing is outside. Let's pop on board with Conquest Racing because I fancy it.
They're now in the slipstream of Egloff. This could turn out well for them. Now they have got the speed and now the overlap. But can they make
Jumped
it
on
stick?
Egloff. Is he gonna come and try the same thing? No, he's not. Oh, he got sideways. He's gonna spin it. Yes, he does. Oh, big mistake for Excite Racing. Big mistake, and he's even gonna turn in on the nose of Sim Racing Lithuania team. Nothing particularly bad comes out of that, but well, mistake for Excite Racing there. Into the pits comes Correcas to serve his drive-through penalty.
As we have seen earlier in the race when Kenneth O'Keefe has passed his drive-through penalty, here on this track, because of the short pit lane, it is not costing too much places if you have a drive-through.
Also, just to take note that the battle we're watching now between Egloff and Stibby is for position.
Yes, for the 5th position.
I'm just hearing reports from Jack Atkinson that A. Schlong of the 08 car managed to drive over every single pit box and then he missed the last one. Reverse and backward, obviously.
Okay, that's a coincidence.
Just thought I'd mention.
Thank you down to our pit lane reporter, Jack Atkinson.
Yep, here comes Stevie.
And we got a drive-through penalty for E-Team because of chatting high. That's a shame.
Yep, there it is. Stibby also, you just saw overtaking Egloff, and they both got very, very wiggly. Coming into the chicane. But Stibby of Sim Racing Lithuania team up to 5th place now, so not a bad showing from them.
E-Team is now coming into the pit lane. Not a good weekend for last year's champion. Well, we've just passed the half distance mark. We're on lap 75 and 777 Racing is leading in front of Anfacuty, followed by Core Racing. And Core Racing is nearly at the bumper of Anfacuty. It's really impressive how satisfying.
Sorry, speaking of Core Racing and bumpers, we're on the front of Core Racing's bumper, riding on board with Rui Santos.
Well, that's something I haven't seen very often, to be serious, that a driver can be so fast in a car. I mean, it's not half an hour ago where the whole schlemazel in turn 1 after the restart happened, and now he's back in 3rd position. That's amazing.
Yes, it is. And not only is he in 3rd position, but he's chasing down 2nd place of Faculty Racing. Rui Santos really is a talent for the future, as is Kenneth O'Keefe. Acosta has been off, seemingly. As we watch on board with Faculty Racing as they try and overtake the lap traffic and try to keep as far away from Rui Santos as they can. Just over a second the gap remained in the previous lap.
The good thing. Egloff managed to get around Stipley again.
Oh yes, he did. I've just realised we have passed the halfway point.
I managed.
Acosta disconnected and then caused the yellow flag. Yep, I'll leave that totally open to you if you like. On board now with McCowan.
He's entering the fast but still twisty chicane, and now into the hairpin, onto the start-finish straight, which isn't actually a straight but more or less a right and a left-hander over the hill. there's a point where you only see the sky, then down into the right T1, right-hander T1, and a short straight into a left-hander, not quite 180 degree, but still a bit of twisty, then a right-left chicane. It's got a bit narrow here because the track was changed from S1 to up to this point. Then the left-hander onto the long back straight. This is the place where you have got the best opportunity to pass someone, as we see in front of him. There was a move by Boothie through the chicane again and through the hairpin onto the start-finish corners, and that was one lap with the leader.
'17 coming in for their drive-through now. That is 7 carat for ignoring blue flags. Correct is now, after serving that drive-through penalty, right on the back of the limit once more. Correct is pushing very hard. Rather obviously, got a wiggle on coming out of turn 2, and then he went flying through the tyres through the very fast chicane. Pushing like a pushy thing, huh? Predict? I don't predict, I see. Just slowly making his way closer to the back of end faculty though. And Chadwick side by side with Bausdorf. Side by side coming into turn 1. This is his 4th position, and Chadwick takes that position off Bausdorf. I think Bausdorf coming down the inside. They make contact. No lag, or not too much lag involved, even though Chadwick is Australian. Look at Chapman going to take advantage of this.
Chapman is well, he scored as a few laps down here in LFS, but actually I don't know, maybe he's racing for position. I haven't the tracker read yet. Oh, and crash!
Oh, that's a massive smash!
That was lag.
What
that
happened
was
there?
Pure lag. There was lag, and because of the lag, the crash thingy just just freaked off.
And well, wow.
That's a shame for Clockwork Motorsports.
And I was just saying about lag as well, with Chadwick being from Australia. Obviously, that's a big lag. Big shame for both teams as well.
Well, and that's a DNF for Chadwick and for Clockwork Motorsports. Meanwhile, a substitute driver for car number 19 came in on the server. The Danish racing team Bausdorf will leave the car and Turbin will enter it. And Stibby is again in front of Egloff.
Yep, I'm going battle here for 5th place.
Every few laps it's changing. They're swapping positions all the time, so they both have very equally set up cars. We're watching Sard and Chapman. Sard wanted to stay with Chapman, but actually with this small mistake at the exit of turn 3, it is not good. And we have got a spin, 4 Strokes Racing Team. That was not by his own, there was another car involved in this.
Yep, here it comes Schlong passing him, I don't know if it was him or not. Oh, but now he makes contact as does Schlong. Oh, and Karek is over the grass.
Yeah, and Schoening is... well, he's classified in... let's take a look. Down in 22nd position. I don't know whether that was the best move, if there was contact, and here the back market is always something to keep a look at. That could end up in tears, and those tears have the reason in getting a penalty.
Yeah, meanwhile TDRT taking a trip through the grass and through the boggy stuff. Just to let you all know, if everything goes pear-shaped and dies on you, it's because my laptop's having a moment. It's its time of the month, so.
We've got still 25 cars running here in the field. First is 777 Racing, second and Faculty, third Core, fourth Conquest, fifth Sim Racing Lithuania team, sixth Excite, seventh Whitewater Radicals, eighth Zion, ninth.
Excite Racing have a front left puncture. My TV blinking director doesn't work. Where are the Egloff there?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Not good for them.
Bad place to have it as well.
Definitely a puncture. Ooh. Must have happened right behind the pit lane exit, somewhere in the area of turn 2 or 3.
Full Stroke Racing team also have a puncture. They're in the pits. Egloff isn't.
Egloff's now approaching the pit lane. They have already their substitute driver on the server. Winkler. Well, we've seen quite many. And there was Egloff overshooting the pit. We've seen quite some punctures here already. There's the 5th or 4th. If anyone have counted them, please post into the chat.
Also, just a quick thought from the Lord himself, Jack Atkinson. Ah! But yeah, I was saying just a quick thought from the Lord himself, Jack Atkinson. He's thinking that Excite Racing have to go 1 hour 10 on these tyres. 1 hour 10 still remaining, by the way.
Yeah. That's
and I'm now
going
getting
to
increasingly frustrated with having to wait for this thing to try and connect me again.
No problem. Well, Winkler, if he really has to get it over the full distance, there will be a splash and dash for sure. Because I don't know, but the distance isn't that big of the FZR, isn't it?
Well, with it being GT2ified like it is now, I think we'll probably just be able to sneak it. Although if there is a safety car, that'll totally save them. Oh my life! This computer is getting on my wick.
Well, sorry for those problems we have. For guys still asking why we've had some races on multi-BC, that's one of the reasons.
Right, and if this times out in the next 10 seconds, I'm going to kill myself. I've decided.
Well, we have still 1 hour 10 remaining. I hope this will be enough. So, what's really interesting about up to this point is that the top 3 are not that far away from each other, only about 6 seconds will tear them apart. Even though some may call 3 hours to be not an endurance race, it is actually. And so it's quite impressive that after 2 hours of racing it's only 6 seconds between first and third. E-Team will get a new driver into the car with 1 hour and 5 minutes to go.
Yep, so the last round of pit stops for a lot of teams now, reintroducing with a fixed microphone now, Nolan Scott.
I'm limping in, but I'm here.
Okay, he's back alive.
Yeah, luckily enough I had another headset lying around, so I can, I don't know how this sounds. I'm taking a shot in the dark here, but yeah, I'm back.
That sounds rather good as Lemitz. Oh, that's a BO! What a save from Lemitz. Not actually collecting anybody either. Wow.
I already saw a big pile up there, but it didn't happen.
He's got a massive tank slapper on. Managed to hold on to it somehow, but well done to him for holding on.
Well, that is actually the...
Go on, Thilo.
Yeah, Santos dropped the pace, you're right, but he've had several cars to overlap, so it's a bit like
Yep, Racing Radicals with that beautiful skin coming to the pits now.
Yeah, and just to carry on, I think Santos actually went off when he was getting around SR there, Mr. Booth, and he went off in the gravel. And I think he ran about a 44 there, or excuse me, a 14.
Yeah, he's back up to pace, nearly driving the exact same lap times as both cars in front of him. They've been divided by just 2 or 3 hundredths of a second.
Yep, also International Team Capo with a big taxi written on the front of them have just been off. Taking a long time to rejoin.
Yeah, well, the good thing is they didn't rejoin into the traffic that directly, so it wasn't not as dangerous as we've seen it earlier already. Still, it's a strange feeling to see a car not moving on the track. Oh, and Korg just got a bump by Schöning. Schöning and
that cost him nearly 9/10. And 9/10 difference in sector 1 on the last lap, or in comparison to the last lap, I should say. And is that Schneider's just timed out?
Yeah, but Schneider's just
that was him
joined to
coming in,
substitute with
yeah,
Leisterer.
Oh. Well, that's not a good sign, but...
Leisterer going for another lap after seeing his teammate decide to disappear on him just as he was about to come in the pit lane.
And also Sebastian Hutchinson, I think his name is, for Sonic Realms comes in, and Tommy Osgood again. He will do the last stint for 777 Racing, which is back on the lead after much of trouble happening here on the track. So leader in second position coming into pit.
And McCown and Corn Dodgers joining the coming in the pit lane side by side. So Rui Santos of Core Racing takes the lead for a while at least.
He can do 1 or 2 laps. That's what I've got a feeling about him.
His tires are actually quite cool, so he may not stretch us as far as he absolutely can.
But in fact, to minimize their gap to 777 Racing with this pit stop, coming only I think 5 car distances between each other. Yeah, Casperonia is now in the Sim Racing Lithuania car.
This can only go well.
And Rose is again in the car for the joint venture between Darkside Racing and Something Awful. I think it will be about 40 laps to go, something like this. And then this race should be official.
Yeah, I would have thought about that, give or take a couple of laps either way. Andrzelli in the pits with the highest placed FXR at the moment. He's done a brilliant job in that FXR, but officially must he have another driver to come in? He must do. He's done 2 hours straight himself, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's already driven 2 hours. Okay, Heinrich is overtaken. I think there is a 75% rule that no driver is allowed to drive more than 75%.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure the number. Yep.
Casperinia spot. That was.
Oh, he's off
now
the grass.
Casperini's off.
The grass.
Gathered it back together, sort of, but anyway, I managed to shout over just about everyone there. So
Oh, and there was like an accident. Hutchinson and turn 1. Hutchinson and Lombardi turn 1. There have been contact and both spun off.
Hutchinson with big cosmetic damage. I'm not sure about the car.
Santos in
It's rather
pits.
wobbly. Rui Santos in the pits, yeah.
He's coming in on lap 100. So you've seen the
Conquest
first
is coming
100
in
laps
right
of
behind him.
GTL.
XR stop should be just a little bit quicker here.
Yep, Tommy Asgarth coming through the final corner right now, so he will probably, no doubt, take the lead.
Ooh, a late connection there from Spear.
Out comes Rui Santos.
So
And he
he's
will
back
remain
on 4th.
third.
Well,
Officially third.
he's on 4th, but after pit stops 3rd, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Sion Racing is up in front. And Casperiunas is still fighting with the car.
Sort of.
Okay, we have got now Jonathan Palmer up here in the commentary booth. And Chris, you have got some questions for him, don't you?
Yes, I do. Going back to
sorry, I'll leave now if you want.
Going through back with the incident with car racing at the start. Why did you know, what was you thinking in giving car racing the drive-through penalty?
On the initial race start with O'Keefe? Oh, yeah, he was fully ahead of the pole sitter. O'Keefe, well, there's space to fit a person between the back bumper of the core car and the front bumper of the 777 racing car just before the green flag flew. So he basically completely overtook before the green flag flew.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, I went back and looked at it, and you know, Tommy was just under pit lane speed, but you know, it's about what you run with the rev limiter on anyway. And yeah, it's just the way things turned out there. Not a terrible call.
The back half of the field was, I don't know what was going on with them, and I didn't wave it off because I figured we'd be spending 2 hours under pace car trying to get the race started. So I just figured, fine, just let them go, because, well, probably helped the turn 1 situation since there wasn't a big mess there in turn 1 with everyone somewhat spread out. Yeah, but yeah, the formation was slightly jumbled up, but I still cut them loose anyway.
I've just noticed Hutchison and Sepam going out like a atted thing, and Sepam all over the road, sliding and oversteering everywhere, and now here comes Hutchinson for Sonic Realms.
And we've got Zion Racing in the pit lane, making his their last pit stop.
Ooh, Sepam tried to go side by side. It's not going to work, Sepam. Oh, and Sepam and Hutchison got together, and Hutchison ended up being around.
That just nearly collected conquest there too. While let's get turned around. That's close.
Yeah, well, very, very good overtaking spot, but if you go side by side, it very rarely works, and we've just been proven that it didn't work at all.
Our leader's just made his pit stop, and there's been a driver change.
Yeah, instead of
exactly the same name.
Paczynski, it is Paczynski. Paczynski.
So that means that 777 Racing and Tommy Oscar has re-inherited the lead with around about 48 minutes and 20 seconds to go.
Yeah, and 7 seconds behind him. No, 4 seconds behind him. There's Schneiders for Infacity, and 7 seconds behind him. There's the flying. I think he's Brazilian. The flying Brazilian of core race.
He's Portuguese, Thilo. Portuguese.
Oh, Portuguese. At least the right language.
Yeah, I was gonna say, thank you to our Lord, who we all bow down to, Jack Atkinson, for that one.
Getting so wrapped up in the race, it didn't even dawn on me what you said there, but yeah, the pace up at the front is really it's really getting really quick here now. Pretty consistent 49.2s from each of the top 3. Tommy just a little bit slower, but once again he's got a few more laps on those tires, so that's to be expected.
Plus, he's the first who actually has to pass a car, and sometimes it's like that a car passed by the leader is more gives more room to the following cars.
That does seem to be true in a lot of cases. But you see now Schneiders is trying to get around rows, and Quinn wouldn't say Rose is getting in his way yet, but you know, it could be slowing him down right now. You don't know that just because of the draft, but he will get him on the straight. And, you know, sometimes you'll hit these cars in the right spot and gain time. You know, I mean, get a big draft like he just got there. If he wasn't hurt in the first sector, this could be one of his best laps. But it does appear he had a little bit of aero push in the first sector.
So we've actually got 3 teams in the top 3 positions who have got history in Masters of Endurance. Does that mean that they also well, push their new-coming drivers to the high standards better, or is this just a coincidence?
Fun parts about running a team now is getting to see new drivers get better and perform better and better every week, and I'm really impressed thus far with my team at least. And 777 Racing and faculty, I mean, I think we all expect them to be pretty quick as well.
Yep, Deadline Racing into the pits, the final person to make their final pit stop. Also, just noticed that this car here of Raptor Racing has made 5 stops.
Maybe what we can see is also that we have got the FZ50 GTR GT2 up in front, 2 of them, and the best XRR GT2 is in 3rd position with Santos for core. But we already have got an FXR in 5th position with Heinrich, which actually is quite a good thing that they are all competing for the top 5 positions here.
Yep. So where's the top GT1 XRR then?
We don't have a GT1 XRR.
This is not GT1 at all. Okay.
I know, I was just capitalising on a mistake I heard you say, Thilo.
Oh. Sorry.
Hey, I caught attention to what was being said in IRC. Haha.
One thing I'll say about the top 5, Heinrich's off, and look here, 6th position. Lazinski. Right behind now.
Yep, Zion team. They've looked quite quick all day. They've had the lead every now and then, but only because of the staggered pit stops they've had. And now they really are attacking that FXR.
And they have got a bit of an advantage because of the rear-wheel drive normally, but this time the 4-wheel drive car of team number 11 pulls away.
Yep, Chapman's just been off in the wall. our roving reporter Jack Atkinson, who we all worship on a daily basis, has pointed out that this battle is going on between Deadline Racing and Dynamo Racing. Dynamo Racing just taking 10th place off Runas. And Chapman also battling for position with Sard of International Team Capel.
Well, actually, Sard is last, referring to Tracker.
Well, fail from me then.
Well, Sard is the last running team, and Infinity Esports is on 22nd, referring to Tracker. So we have got the top 5 cars, with all 3 types of cars, all on the lead lap. The rest is at least 1 lap down. And international team CAPO with Sard steering at the moment is already 7 laps down. What I seem to see as an important factor here is luck, all in all, because the restart and the initial start have been quite a gamble, I would say, for everyone trying to attack someone. And the other thing is the overlapping.
Oh! Kasparunas, Dynamo and Sepam, who is Stony Endurance Races. Yep. They were having a battle there, and Dynamo got past Sepam, and then Felipe, we'll call him, on the throttle too early. Just needed taking Dynamo out. Anyway, you were saying, Jen?
Yeah, you made me jump, Chris.
Sorry, Nolan.
But
Winkler took the 7th position of Zion Racing.
But yeah, as you were saying, a little bit of luck here and there, but you know that's kind of endurance racing a lot of times. But you know, the top 3 guys right now are basically running really similar times. I mean, they're almost identical. So I mean, the competition in this series is, you know, almost as good, if not as good, as MOE and IGTC and some of these bigger series at times.
Yeah, what I wanted to point out especially is that Blackwood is quite a short track, and that you have to pass someone more often than on the longer tracks like we have in Aston or in Kyoto.
Yeah, and as I said earlier, you catch a guy on the back straight, you get in his draft, you'll save time. You catch a guy basically anywhere else on the track other than the front straight, you're going to lose a lot of time, because a lot of these corners, you know, are pretty quick. So you need air on the front of the car, and it seems to really be hurting people's first sectors.
Sepam and Lombardi at it again, coming down the back straight. Sepam very easily able to draft straight past, but is he done too early? And can Lombardi get back in and take a dive down the inside in the chicane? No, he can't.
Hutchinson sitting there flashing the drivers in front of him that he's a... no, he is on the same lap, excuse me. I don't think I've ever seen so many cars with lights on at one time. All three of these cars have lights turned on. It's a three-way battle.
Well, that's also a feature of the new patch, Z25.
Oh, this is fun. They're all going three wide into the chicane, and it's sort of staggered itself out by people gaining and losing and gaining the draft. Oh, but Seb! Oh, Seb! He's gone over the. Oh, it's havoc. Somehow, Capo got out of the way. Saw it just tanked through the tires. But
and I think Hutchinson lost control of the car a little bit before that even happened. I don't know. It looked like he bobbled, and just so happened that was going through the tires, and he was spreading tires out all over the track. Hutchinson was just in a really unfortunate situation after that.
Yeah, it seemed it was a bit strange actually, because Assad was suddenly slowing down.
Yeah.
battle for 5th place continues very, very rapidly as well, with the FXR of Heinrich under attack from Todorovic of Serbian Chrome Pistons. Oh, was that all? Was that Casper Innes? Parked him on the inside of the final corner there? Yes, it was.
Incidentally, have you guys mentioned anything racial or anything at all about the direction that the wind is blowing? And a little more about the wind and how it may be affecting everyone?
No, I don't think we have discussed that. And, if that's the case, yeah, that's definitely going to slow people's lap times down substantially from time to time.
Yeah, it is pretty much a complete headwind going down the long straight. There's a flag on the outside of the turn going on to long straight, which is generally blowing in a headwind direction, or it's a slight nose on crosswind. Not very stiff, just a slight breeze. I didn't catch the speed at the start of the race.
I think it was something like 2 or 3 miles an hour, I'm not sure. Zion team has just managed to fight their way past Heinrich of WFF, is it? Down the pit straight there. So Pagzuki takes 5th and 6th, and Heinrich drops to 7th. and I got my words unbelievably muddled up in that sentence.
Just to give you an impression, what a performance that is to get an FXR in that high position. The next FXR is in 15th, then one in 16th, 19th, and that will have been all. That's definitely something impressive.
Something else that's pretty impressive right now is Tommy Oscar just ran a 1879 first split. He's running pretty consistent 11s up here right now. Tires look good, everything looks pretty good. Running a really quick pace.
Yeah, we're
Right
now halfway through the stints.
Yep.
Just had a look at the start of the race on the replay, and LFS indicated about 18 kilometers an hour, which is about 10-11 miles an hour wind for the race.
Wow, well, that is substantial.
We have got some new weather reports. Luckily, there's no rain coming within the next 1 hour, but the wind speed is about 11 miles an hour.
Tommy Oscar sets fast lap with 11:47.
That's no second of his pole lap.
One thing we did when we chose the weather conditions for today's race, we looked at for a close real life location. We found there was a Blackwood in the UK, so we went near there, and the closest weather forecast we could find was for Newport in the UK. And the forecast actually called for rain, or at least cloudy, and 15 mile an hour wind or so, and according to observations I found on the BBC website, found an observation for St. Athan, I believe, which is about 23 miles from Newport, cloudy, and about 16 miles an hour. And yeah, the forecast was for the low teens in wind speed, so I guess LFS got it fairly accurate.
Well, there you have it.
Oh, Oscar had there was contact between Oscar and Caspionius. Caspionius doesn't seem to be doesn't seem to feel that comfortable with this car.
Tommy Oscar nearly gets into Sod and putting him another lap down. Sod nearly lost it coming out of T1. where he just got past 2 cars in the first sector, and just to illustrate how much hitting 2 in the first sector will do, he ran a 20.01. He's ran consistent 19.0s for the last probably 4 to 5 laps. So you really almost have to hit him either on this back straight or front straight, or you're just going to lose massive amounts of time. Schneider's just going to lose tons of time here, passing 2 cars in the final corner, nearly stop. It's getting real hectic up here for these front runners.
That has been a bit of pile-up. However, we've got now a couple of cars quite close together on the straight. We're including Laplin Racing Team, who have been 3rd in the grid and who are now down. We are now actually down to the 16th position. We're watching on board, not on board, but we were watching, I think, Estonian endurance races in the battle with the Sonic Williams car, Hutchinson. And Hutchinson just passed, is in front of Sepman. Now using the slipstream of Rose is a back marker for him, who pulls away to let the better positioned cars pass.
We're kind of looking at an accordion effect right now for the top 3. They just keep stretching out, and pretty much symmetrically it seems like Oscar might be pulling away from Schneider's, just a touch more than Schneider's just pulling away from Santos, but we're getting pretty much near midway for these stints. Maybe over a little bit for some of these guys, but yeah, right now is when everything's going to start changing.
We've got 20 minutes to go and 20 minutes to go, sorry. And Oscar's leading over Schneider's with 4 seconds, and another 10 seconds behind that is Santos. It seems to be pretty stable, and we've got a disconnect of car 27 that's Race Sim Radicals. Not really good for them. Even though they were not up in the front, they have been 18th overall, with 3 laps down.
appears to be quite a long time. Yeah, here comes Myers in for him now. We're gonna lose a lot of time with that.
And now I've got 2 drivers on the server. Now they have quickly to manage who is driving now and who is staying.
Yeah, it was pretty quick on their part. Myers is in the car now. Tommy Oscar getting ready to start lapping some of the 10th and 11th and 12th place drivers. He's coming up on Lombardi now. Lombardi is actually in 13th position, excuse me. Oh, and Chapman time's out too.
Yeah. No good race for Infinity Esports.
Yep. Chapman coming back in the car now. He's already back out on the track. Oh, Schneider's pushes Chapman out on the gravel there. Nothing Chapman could really do.
Yeah, that. Ooh. On the one hand, Schneider's fighting to basically for the lead, for the win. However, he doesn't approach anymore to Osgood, but still he tries to keep on. And on the other hand, Chapman is entering pit lane and was more or less on track, and difficult situation.
Yeah, and I was just about to comment that he had actually gotten into Wycliffe there for just a moment, going through the center of turn 1. He just come across and got into him a little bit, but that was a little bit more precarious situation there.
Lublin Racing comes into pit lane. It's now been 100 laps earlier that Speedo Racing had to retire. That's a side fact of this. Entering now the last about 15 minutes of the race.
Tommy just behind Lombardi now. Lombardi not giving up the position too easily to Oscar. He does now, though.
By the way, anyone knows how Todorovic got into 4th?
Yeah, that is unique. I don't know if Conquest made a mistake or not. I thought they were quite a good ways in front of them for a while.
If I remember right, they have had a decent gap between each other. I hope that this race will end under normal conditions.
Yes,
Wow,
Bjorn is spinning again. Oh, and Meyer's in the same exact corner, right on the track. Well, and Saad's got a flat left front tire. Everything's happening here all at once. He's coming in the pits, it looks like. He's throwing tires all over the track.
So the left front tire is really a tire who doesn't want to live that long. It's the most killed tire of the day, and Saad goes too fast into the pit lane and, well, now gets a stop and go penalty.
Yeah, the left front going that quickly, it seems to be just a really tough place not to lock the left front up a lot of times, and it seems to be a little bit more common in this race than some of the other endurance races that we have.
One thing about the tires, it possibly could be because of the wind going into turn 1 is pretty much a crosswind shoving people into turn 1, which, and I heard a few people discussing in IRC, that was hurting them going into turn 1. It was difficult entering into turn 1 with the way the wind is today.
Well, it's quite unique. Didn't think of that. Doesn't look like Conquest has the speed right this moment to compete with that 4th position car. Just once again though, I mean the competition is really close in this series. Probably probably 2/10 a lap right now, a 10th at the most, or excuse me, a 10th to 2/10 at the most. Oh, big 2 cars spun around right in front of Santos. Chapman and Wycliffe.
Chapman and the very beautiful but so far unsuccessful Infinity Esport car. Well, if you talk about liveries, we have got really some good ones here in the field. Still don't want to do a prediction about how this race ends, because I've got bad memories about making predictions.
I mean, Oscar just said it's 1865 in the first split. That's by far the fastest I've seen today. And absolutely, it's hard to make predictions in this series as well. You never really know what could happen. Tommy's right front tire on the inside looks a little thin, but he should definitely be able to save that to the end of the race. 11:47. I think that ties his fast lap of the race. Schneider just can't win for losing right now. He's got traffic all around him. I mean, Lombardi's still right there with him.
Saad got another stop and go penalty.
Wow.
Really not going well for the Argentinian team. Again, for being too fast in pit lane. The gap actually between Ostgaard and Schneider's melted a bit. from about 5 seconds to 3.5.
And Schneider's, like I said, he just isn't having any luck getting around this traffic, and yet he's still able to run these 1890s, and you know, in the first split, even getting around a car or two. I mean, it's pretty amazing, really.
Yeah, he won 3/4 of a second in the last lap over Osgard.
Schneider's with a very clean line through that last corner. 1181 and a 12 flat from the two front runners. Oscar just a pinch faster. I think one of the big reasons Schneider's has caught Oscar over the standings, partly because I don't know, he's just doing such a great job of getting around traffic, and I think Oscar made a small mistake once or twice on a few laps where he's by himself. He's trying to really set fast laps. Very consistent for both the front runners, though.
And Casperiona's car just got a bit more of colors on it. They have a small contact with Conquest Racing, so a bit yellow on the car now. I'm sorry for all the time talking about Schneiders, but he is called Schneiders. Just realizing it.
Wow, you're right. I never even noticed that.
Yeah, DWB just posted it and I read it.
Oh, yeah, really? It was Ben? Wow.
And an 11.5 lap by Schneiders. That's 3. Whoa. That's 3/10 of a second he just gained, and there was actually no traffic at all.
And he just pulled nearly 4/10 in the first sector. Tommy. About to run into some more traffic again here in just a second as well. Got Casper Jonas here, and two cars in front of him, and then another car pretty close. Then he may have some smooth sailing, but he's got to get around these cars pretty quick.
Yeah, but Casper Jonas is not really making room.
12:61 from Oscar that lap and 11:74 from Schneider.
We've had several dramatic race finishes over the year. Well, for all the viewers out there who have been watching this, I hope this is going to be again a dramatic finish.
Well, I cannot believe this lap car is not. Yeah. Let's see how quickly I can get through here. Yeah, that wasn't surprising whatsoever.
Yeah, sorry to say, but Kasper Younes is totally displaced here at the moment.
I mean, yeah, you clearly have to let a front runner by in that situation. I mean, no, and look at that, he still manages to run a 12:37 after that. So, yeah.
The Infected often gets the advantage of lapping someone on the back straight and gaining this this great slipstream there. We're down to 2.8 seconds between the lead lap car, both lead cars. And again, Schneiders can approach a back marker on the back straight. And the Zion racing car makes room, enough room to let Schneiders easily pass. 12.3 against an 11.8. We're down to 2.3 seconds. But only 2 minutes remaining here in this race.
We've still got a bunch of back markers to get around here. Just a minute, and it looks like they're probably going to catch him. It's going to be close. They may not be able to get there in time, but probably one back marker to go.
That's Speer, who is in 5th position, who would be overlapped the first time. And if we're calculating it right, we're entering the final lap here now of this 3-hour event. Ostgaard is leading 1.48 seconds in front of Schneiders. And I think Speer could be the decision maker yet.
there's a car off in front. It's going to cost Tommy just a touch of time, but it may get in faculty too. Yeah, he hits him. Oh, it's going to slow that lap down. We will not be able to get Conquest on the straight unless they lift. A little bit of strange movements from Conquest there. Almost looking like they wanted to block Tommy off and not let him draft him at all.
So last time through the hairpin, Ostgaard is leading at the tail of Spear, and he's going at the sides. Ostgaard's winning here the 3 hours of Blackwood for 777 Racing in front of Schneiders in the Infacity car, with only 1.75 seconds gap between those two.
Rui Santos of Core Racing is coming around. Final corner now. Looks like he's going to grab third position for Core Racing. Beat up car there
in front of him.
Oh, how professional.
Yeah, Casperionius shows his skill. And now Todorovic in the final chicane. Now through the hairpin, and also Todorovic now on the final straight, making his 4th place for Serbian Chrome Pistons stick. Whoa.
Good day for them.
Okay, all cars are over the start-finish line. A quick rundown of the unofficial results. We have got Ostgaard for 777 Racing in first, Schneiders for Infacity in second, Santos in third position for Core Racing, Todorovic for Serbian Chrome Pistons in fourth, Spear for Conquest Racing in fifth, Pachuski for Cyan Racing in sixth, seventh Excite Racing Winkler, eighth the car 11 of Heinrich of White Water Radicals, ninth Sepam of the Estonian Endurance Races, and 10th Hutchinson from Sonic Realms. Eleventh is Runes from Deadline Racing. 12th is Lombardi of Dynamo Racing, or still taking some laps around the track. Then we got the number 17 car of 7 Karat Racing, driven by Gebauer. 14th Seidel in this rundown. Wasn't that happy. 15th Rose for Something Awful and Dark Side Racing. Okay, that were the 3 hours of Blackwood GTAL 2010. Some last words from you, Nolan?
Well, I mean, it was just a crazy race, man. The restarts were unique. You know, Tommy Oscar ran a real good race. I mean, really, the top 3 teams just ran pretty much, you know, really close paces, and it was made for a great race. But yeah, competition's good. Hopefully we'll see the same thing next week or next month, whenever. Next 2 weeks. You tell me.
I think it's next month.
What was your opinions of the race?
Well, next race on 12th of December. Thank you down to Jack Atkinson. Again, well, as you said, a crazy race. It was... well, it was... It had some controversial scenes, like some crashes on the restarts, but all in all it was really a nice even competition up in front, with the luckier end for Ostgaard's team. Yeah, that was my opinion about the race. Next race will be on Kyoto Grand Prix Long with the Boothie chicane.
Oh yeah.
So I hope we hope to see you again by then, and we wish you a good night or good day in whatever time zone you are. This is Thilo Falkenberg alongside Nolan Scott, and somewhere else also is Chris Wilkinson. So long, everyone.